All right, what's good, Power People? This is the Power Living with Purpose podcast with David C. Henderson, and this is Tactical Tuesday. All right, now, Tactical Tuesday is sponsored by Opportunities Unlimited Business Group, where ambition and success unite. If you're a current or aspiring entrepreneur, investor, venture capitalist, or just somebody who wants to increase their net worth through their network, then Opportunities Unlimited Business Group is for you. You can search on social media for Opportunities Unlimited Business Group. All right, now this Tactical Tuesday is part 3 of how to actually improve your city. First one was businesses. Second one was nonprofits. This is the third one, which is youth programs. All right, I have a cousin he was doing policy research in Washington, D.C. And he was telling me that they have concluded, without a shadow of a doubt, that cities who invest heavily in youth programming see a drastic drop in crime, teen pregnancy rates, high school dropout rates, all of that within 5 years. So like the 8th graders are the ones that within 5 years, those 13-year-olds are going to be 18, and they'll be either going out in the world and doing good or doing bad. But most crime in cities are committed by the 15 to 25-year-olds, but 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, they may commit more crimes because they know they can't be prosecuted as an adult unless it's a certain level of that crime. So the 14 through 17-year-olds are out there wreaking havoc in the city if they have not been properly mentored from kindergarten through 8th grade. So that's why if you heavily invest into kindergarten through 8th grade programming, programs that actually challenge their mind, not just the boring basic stuff, but actually creative, out of the box type of teaching, then you engage them more. Then you make sure you have an after school programs and transportation so they don't have an excuse why they can't go. And then make sure you have all the sports, so because everybody doesn't play the major sports. Some people may be better at ones that are less popular. So well, let me go back to after school. Not just an after school program, but after school clubs. Like kids may not want to be in a certain program, but they may want to be in a club, and that club meets after school and they talk about what they want to talk about, you know what I'm saying, for an hour or so forth. They may not want to just be in the generic after school program. So schools, you don't want to just offer generic after school programs. You want to also have clubs with an advisor and so forth. So because some kids are passionate about one thing, and that club is what they would be active in, not necessarily the generic after school program. So then you got Saturday. All right. That's where the community organizations come in. The fraternities, the sororities, the churches, any other nonprofits and stuff like that. That's where they come in with the Saturday stuff. So, every kid is not going to be playing sports on Saturday. So it's up to the community to come up with more creative things, with other creative things as well for the kids to be involved with, on the weekends. Now, on Sunday afternoon, then, that's where your talent shows can be held. That's where, your different programs, the plays, and your choir, your concerts, and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the talent shows should be on a routine basis. Like every month, it should be a talent show in the community, so that the kids can have chances to come out and showcase the talent. Not every child is going to be in the choir. Not every child is going to be in the band. So you need to have other avenues, So you got some of the future comedians right there in your community, but they've never had a chance to get on stage and do comedy because you're not having any talent shows in your community. You got some of the future movie stars, but they don't get a chance to act because you don't have enough plays going on in your community. There's not documentaries going on where the youth can be part of those documentaries where they're finding out about something, learning about something. You know what I'm saying? There's not a production company that is seeking out kindergarten through 8th graders instead of just grown folks. You know what I'm saying? So, and because today you got kids making their own stuff, but adults who know how to do production and all that stuff could work with kindergarten through 8th graders and help them to do that. Now, of course, middle high school too, but I'm saying if you invest heavily into the kindergarten through 8th graders, then when they turn 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders, you lower crime, lower dropout rates, lower pregnancy rates, lower in-school suspension, lower fighting rates in schools, and all of that. The whole, you name it, higher employment rates, because they're going to be more likely to get a job, either whether it's part-time or full-time afterwards. Higher college rates, going to college. So, you know, all of that stuff can be changed within 5 years. You can go like, you can take the south side of Chicago, or you know, places that people see maybe as a terrible situation. If you heavily invest in the K through 8, specifically in those 6th through 8th graders, because they're going to be hitting teenage years first. If you go from top down, then within 5 years, you can have all the crime that's caused by the teenagers in Chicago to drop down dramatically. And it works, and that will work for any other city. Like I said, the numbers don't lie. If you look at any city that is heavily invested in the youth, you will see dramatic rates go down over time if they consistently do it. Now, you can't have a thing go under one mayor and the next mayor come in and cut everything because they didn't like that other mayor and they want to do stuff, and it doesn't work. You know, it has to be consistent, you know, or county commissioner, or whatever, superintendent, whatever. You know, it's got to be consistent, and, you know, it has to keep going. So that's my Tactical Tuesday for today, is that, and I'm speaking from experience, because growing up in Tuskegee, Alabama in the 80s and 90s, I can tell you, as a matter of fact, that I don't hardly ever remember murders and crimes and all type of stuff that were being committed by young adults and teenagers at the rate that we see in not just here but other cities and everything all across the board. So, but in terms of my city, I remember little to no crime that you hear about, like major stuff, little to no murders. I mean, you didn't hear about teenagers committing heinous crimes. Cause we had so many after school programs and youth programs and sports and outlets and everything. I mean, you could throw a rock and hit a youth program. It was so many programs. The parents were super involved with the kids. You know, so that was the 80s and 90s growing up in Tuskegee from my personal experience. And, so that's just an example to tell you that, you know, if you invest in the youth during a certain amount of time, you will see the benefits and the results right away. But if it starts dropping off, then you're going to see a rise in the negative. So that's my Tactical Tuesday, sponsored by Opportunities Unlimited Business Group. How to actually improve your city. That was part 3 with youth programming. Have a great week. Stay powerful, my friends.